Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is BestInSlot and we are back playing Jurassic World on the iPad, and today's a big episode. But before we go into that, I want to explain something. Basically, because I am super intelligent, I kind of forgot to activate my mic before I recorded this episode. So what I'm doing now is watching the video back and voice recording over the top of it. So this is going to be more like a retrospective kind of thing. And this is good because I can explain this whilst, for whatever reason, I went around and just tapped on everything instead of doing that before recording the video. Anyway, so what are we doing today? Well, the Mosasaurus tournament ended, okay? Because, well, and I didn't get the Mosasaurus, I got to like a rare pack level or something, simply because, like I explained, I've been away for like the past couple of weeks, I haven't been here. It's very hard to play like iPad games when you are in the middle of a beach, because there's a lack of Wi-Fi, shall we say. So I haven't really been able to do anything. We've been working on this mission at the moment to collect coins. I should show it shortly, I think, to collect coins from the blimp and collect coins from the power generator kind of thing. I've actually done that since this episode, and now I'm working on collecting 2.5 million from amphibians. There, you can see it there. Look how prepared I am. Ooh. Anyways, so I didn't get the Mosasaurus. However, Ludia, in their infinite money-grabbing wisdom, have added a way to get the Mosasaurus to the game. It will pop up at some point. Basically, you buy the pack that you would have got if you came in the top 1%. Now, if you came in the top 1%, congratulations, YouTube. The only way to do it, as far as I'm concerned, was to play, obviously, every day. You have to be very active, and obviously you have to have a fairly strong lineup. I think I had the lineup to do it, in terms of strength of my creatures, because we got up to gold and we were flying up gold for no problems. However, again, I wasn't here for 2 weeks, and when you come back, like I was trying to work up the rare bracket. You know, I had a couple days left. I thought, you know, well, let's see how high we can get before it ends, just in case. You never know. If I just play it constantly, maybe we'll climb up. But every victory was putting me up one place, so it would have taken, I think, about 87 battles just to get to super rare, assuming I won every single one of them. So I think for fairly obvious reasons, I wasn't going to sit around and do that, because that's a little bit silly. So I just kind of decided, you know, screw it. Hopefully the game will give me a way to get the Mosasaurus without having to come up at the top of the thingamajiggy. And they did. Unfortunately, they also priced it at £80, as you can see. Legendary pack, 40. Legendary pack, as we've discussed in the past, is already ridiculously overpriced. And this is my problem now, because I can't do this video without seeming intrinsically hypocritical. Because basically, I am going to buy the Mosasaurus pack in this video. At some point, very soon, I'm going to buy the Mosasaurus pack. The Mosasaurus itself is absolutely awesome. But the pack being £80, just for those of us who were in the other 99% of players, that's not cool. That is flat out money grabbing, greedy. I'm going to swear for a moment, so if you're under 60, what age is like the legal age for swearing? Obviously there's not a legal, it's bullshit, right? It just is. It's atrocious. And yet, saying that, I bought it. Now, my justification for that is twofold. One, this series has brought money in for me. You know, this series is still relatively popular. People watch it. That brings in income for me. Views equals money, blah, 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 blah. You know, this series, even if we only do it once a week now, is kind of the one that keeps the channel going and lets me play other, maybe slightly less popular stuff sometimes. Stuff like that. So that's one justification. The other being, because I have a limited company set up based around the YouTube channel, every time I buy a game or something like that, I can run the game as an expense through the account. So at the end of the year, when I'm tallying up how much I'm going to pay in tax, stuff like the Mosasaurus pack will come off my tax bracket, so hopefully I'll pay less tax. That's how I justify it. And the fact that I have to sit here and justify it is silly. But I can't do this without being a hypocrite, because on one hand, I'm buying the bloody thing because I want the Mosasaurus, and I'm annoyed that, you know, the fact that I had to leave for 2 weeks means I couldn't get it, and I wasn't confident that they'd add another way to get it in the future. But on the other hand, it's disgustingly overpriced. At the end of the day, there's going to be kids out there, like 8 years old or something, who play this game, and they're going to see this thing that they couldn't possibly have gotten realistically, and they're going to really want it, and they're going to go to the parents, £80, and the parents are going to be like, £80 for one creature in the game? No, get out, go live with your father, that's stupid. Basically, Ludiate is breaking up homes. Anyway, Mosasaurus pack. I shall focus on the screen temporarily and find out what I'm doing. Look, I've opened it. I was hoping for more DNA, frankly. 882,000 gold, lots of DNA. Could have done with more. 1,000 dino dollars and the Mosasaurus. Ah! Now, the Mosasaurus is very cool. It lives, obviously, in this little lake bit at the bottom. We'll see it in a minute. But I am curious as to how, obviously there is an aquatic park on the way. They've kind of set up for it now. You know, we've got the different types. We've got like the reef and the surface aquatic creatures. What I'm curious about is how they're going to get us there and how the Mosasaurus is going to feature in that, because the Mosasaurus already has a place in the main park. But there we go. Mission complete. Have 94 dinosaurs. Was that 94? I can't really see the screen that well. It's not even a dinosaur. Silly game! So there we go, Mosasaurus, ladies and gentlemen. It may be ridiculously, disgustingly expensive or hard to get, but it's very cool. And the background they've made, which I'm assuming will remain unique to Mosasaurus, because it wouldn't really make sense otherwise. That might be optimistic on my part, actually. Is very cool. It's very cool, I'm not going to lie. We're going to ignore the money now. The fact is it's done. I may vehemently disagree with their business practices, but it's cool. And this is cooler. Look at it. It's like it's in the film. It's like the film, guys. It's like the film. Look, he's doing it again. He's doing it again. Whee! Delicious. It's very cool. I'm glad they've put so much effort into it. Otherwise, well, I mean, I say so much effort. Like, you know, one animator spent a day doing it. Otherwise, I feel slightly more stupid about buying it, and I already did. And it is not really possible to justify. Oh, we're going to buy another one, by the way. I've got 5. Now, the problem with this is, at the moment, the Mosasaurus is useless, right? It doesn't battle. It doesn't do anything. It brings in a bit of gold, and that's it. But it's really cool, and because it's so, like, unique, I just wanted another one. And I suspect this may be the next creature we max out. That's another 6 Wait, no. What? I can't do maths. Another 30,000 even. That's another 30,000 DNA to do that. But it's a Mosasaurus, and I really want to see what it looks like at max level. I'm sure some people have seen it at max level. I'm sure some people have it at max level. I'm sure some people will tell me in the comments that people have got it at max level. But I've actively tried to avoid every other video in Jurassic World across all of YouTube and the interwebs, just because I think it ruins that feeling you get when you see this stuff for the first time. There's a lot of problems with the design and stuff in Jurassic World, but the progress of the evolutions and what they look like at max level, even if some of them look daft, is always interesting, you know. And it's like Christmas. You don't want to ruin Christmas. Why would I ruin Christmas for myself? It'd be like having my Christmas in a week, or in this case, several months, and then going, oh, but look at that guy's Christmas. I'm going to go look at his Christmas. I'm not going to have my Christmas. I'm just going to look at his Christmas. That's silly, guys. That's it. Don't ruin Christmas. Meow, and there he is, all stripy. I am curious what route they'll go down. But yeah, we're going to focus on this. I don't really have much DNA at the moment, as you can tell. But I'm going to work on it. We spent a lot recently. I had a mission that said you must have, let me try to remember, 15 herbivores above level 10 or higher, which sounds simple enough, right? However, or was it 25? I don't know. It was a number. Anyways. Sounds simple enough, but the problem is when it says 10 or higher, I think it meant 11 or higher, because I leveled up all these things to level 10, enough to finish it, and I was like, oh, that hasn't actually done a bloody thing. So obviously they had to all be leveled up and stuff. So the Parasaur, Lolofus and stuff like that have all got a few extra levels under their belt now, so we can evolve them. But that's pretty much where all my DNA went, unfortunately. Well, and 5,000 on the Mosasaurus. I could theoretically spend £480. Is that right? 6 times 8? 6, 12, 8, 20. Yeah. £480. Well, actually, £479. 94p. In order to get the Mosasaurus pack 6 more times, max out my Mosasaurus. And as much as Jurassic World has made me a little bit of money over time, and as much as it would be a business expense, etc., etc., nope, not a chance in bloody hell. The fact that they're asking £480 to do it is kind of ridiculous. Also, and whilst I'm just clicking things, I'm going to talk about this because I'm trying to like show you guys Parasaurolophus, as you can see, and the Gallimimus, which I've since leveled, I think, to level... Oh no, we maxed it out in this video. What am I on about? So whilst I'm doing that, very excitedly, I recently, you guys know I kind of want to travel a lot. I set up searching for sloths, which has changed recently. The site, I kind of deleted everything. I'm redoing the site, rebooting it somewhat. You'll see more articles soon. I'm going to post some pictures from my recent trip to España and Dublin, although there isn't many from Dublin. I took a really nice bear picture in Spain. I'm really proud of it. That's going to go up on the site. My photography's really come along. Anyways, just kind of humble bragging there. I mean, it's not great, but it's getting better. There you go. That's a humble brag. And anyways, I love traveling, and I want to do more of it. So last week, like 4 days ago, which I think is technically last week, I was just kind of sitting there thinking, right, where am I going to go next? And there's a lot of options. We were going to go Indonesia over Christmas, but that kind of fell apart. I really want to go Iceland. There's an Antarctic photo tour you can do where you go in these big ice boats. Not boats made of ice, much to my disappointment, but like boats that cut through the ice very well and handle the cold weather or whatever. And you go on one of these for like 2 to 3 weeks, and you go on land sometimes, and you just kind of sail around the Antarctic and taking photos. Northern Lights, and is it penguins or polar bears? I always get this mixed up. I'm gonna go penguins. One's penguins, one's polar bears. They never actually meet, except in zoos. Anyways, so you can go around and do all that, and it's very, very, very cool. And it costs a little bit of money, so I'm kind of saving up for that. That's down the line. So that's on the horizon. Hopefully Brazil at some point soon for Carnival. Anyways, all this kind of stuff. But I was just thinking, where do I want to go? And randomly, I thought, oh, I'll go to Japan. Right? And about 10 minutes later, I'd booked a flight to Japan. So I'm going to Japan for a month in March. I think mid-March to mid-April. It's exactly a month. It's like a Tuesday to a Tuesday. So it's 28 days in Japan. Unfortunately, I kind of did it over the top. I love Funeral for a Friend, right? The band. I've always loved them since high school. You know, it's that kind of band, like emo-ish, rock, high school, whatever. But they're doing a farewell tour because they're split up. So they're doing a farewell tour where they play Hours and Casually Dressed In and Deep in Conversation. Their 2 first albums, I think. I might be getting that wrong, actually. In full, one on one day, Casually Dressed on the first day, Hours on the second day. It will be the best gig of my life. Unfortunately, it happens, and I've booked the tickets, it happens 10 days before I get back from Japan. So I rang up thinking, right, okay, I'll move my Japan trip a month later. We'll do April to May. And unfortunately, that costs £350. So now I have to decide whether seeing Funeral for a Friend, who I've seen live before, and it was the best gig I've ever been to, is it worth seeing them again for the last time ever in what will be a phenomenal gig? There's no two ways about it, for £350. So, kind of trying to decide that at the moment. Not really sure where I'm going to go with that. Not sure I want to push Japan back by a whole month, but I suppose it won't make that much difference. But it just means longer spent here in England, being all... I get tetchy now. I just feel like I have to get out. You know, I have to escape. I got trashed in this battle, by the way. This Coolosaurus absolutely ruined me. Sorry, I should be talking about the game, but I'm not going to. So, whatever. There's nothing to show you guys. The Indominus puts up a little good fight, but Coolosaurus just destroyed my team, unfortunately. The Indominus does look cool, though. Anyways, so I don't really know what to do, because I'd love to go to that so badly, but it's £350. We'll see. Anyways, so yeah, I'm going to Japan for a month. I was away for 2 weeks recently, and hopefully those who didn't know I was away didn't notice I was away. That was kind of my plan. So like, I recorded a lot. I recorded enough this time, for the first time ever, I believe, so that when I went away, there was no lack of content. You know, there was content every day except weekends whilst I was gone. The idea being, if you weren't paying attention and you didn't know I was away, you wouldn't know, you wouldn't guess, you know, unless you paid attention at all, basically. So I'm optimistic that if I can do it for 2 weeks, and I was rushing, you know, I think I started pre-recording for the 2 weeks about 4 to 5 days before, if that. So I'm optimistic that if I got ahead this time, started doing it earlier, before March, or as it may be April, I could record a month's worth of content, and I mean, except weekends, and then on Saturdays I do a vlog kind of thing showing you guys what I've been up to in Japan, as well as updating, searching for sloths. Anyone who's been to Japan or lives in Japan, advice of what to do would be fantastic. I am working on a rough itinerary. I don't really like to plan everything. I do, actually, I love to plan everything, but when we went to Costa Rica and Nicaragua, the girl I was with was very relaxed and loose about the whole thing, and that kind of rubbed off, and I just started thinking, yeah, whatever, we'll just kind of see what happens, we'll just kind of let the wind take us where it may. There's some things I need to plan, like getting a JR pass and stuff like that, but I don't need a visa and stuff, so it's pretty handy. So yeah, that's 5 minutes talking about Japan somehow. We're about to do another battle. I thought we'll mess up with some stuff that we don't usually do. I don't think I've ever used Irritator in a fight before this one right here, so. And Limoncello came back. Everyone loves Limoncello. Limoncello's not been in the game for ages. Limoncello was, I believe, my first level 40. Or was it the Majungasaurus? It may have been the Majungasaurus. I can't actually remember. It's one of the two. I think it was Majungasaurus. Or was it Limoncello? Limoncello, either way, this little Limoncello right here carried me through the early game of this game. Absolutely carried me. Anyways, what can I talk about for like, how long is this video? I don't actually know how long this video is. I can't see the end of the timeline as I'm recording this, and apologies if the mic quality is a little bit weird. My voiceover recording mic quality is strange. I don't really know why. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to Japan. Advice would be great. Hopefully going to some other places as well. I really want to get into photography. Everyone does this kind of thing. Purely on an enthusiast level, you know, not professionally. I'm never going to be a professional photographer, that's fine. But I've got a decent set of kit for those who are curious, because we did talk about this a couple of videos ago. It is a D750, is my main camera, which is a beautiful Nikon. Then a Sugar. I've got 3 lenses, I'm trying to remember what they are. One is a wide angle 16-35 Nikon. Then there's a 24-60-ish Tamron, which is kind of like my mid-range lens. And then there's a 150-600 Tamron, and the 150-600 is incredible. I will link a photo down below, and I will remember this time, but check the description. Is a photo I took of a bear. That would be impossible with 99% of lenses. It's just, it's such a beautiful lens, it really is. Blurry as hell, unless you're steady as hell, but still. I can't really comment on the fight, because for one, the screen I'm watching it on is teeny fight. For 2, nothing much happens. I just kind of, I'm going to hit for 4 here, and I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, he blocks for 3, yeah. I wish you could play against other players. I'm a little annoyed they took out the whole... He doesn't attack you, does he? Oh yeah, he does. They took out the whole visiting other players' parks and stuff like that. You know, there's a lot of aspects of Jurassic World which are a bit of a downgrade from Jurassic Park Builder. Namely pricing. The pricing is atrocious. I still... £80! It's this many! You can't see what I'm doing, but it's like huge! 80 pounds! That's like... Okay, how much is £80? What else can you buy for £80? Let's think. That's my council tax for a month. That's like half my electricity bill. That's food for like a month if you do it properly, but you know, that's a couple of weeks food probably, something like that. Depending on what, you know, if you're a student, it's a month's food. If you're... whatever, it depends on your income. But £80 can feed you for a month, let's put it that way. You're not going to live well, but it can definitely do it. What's that, £2 a day? Less, well, a bit more, £2.50 a day. You could have a lot of ramen anyway. You'd have to have a lot of ramen. Anyways, yeah. It's just, I can't get over how they possibly justify it. And the problem is, I'll complain about it, but if I buy the bloody thing, then I'm part of the problem. And I have to accept that. Like, I really feel quite badly about the fact I've supported their stupid system. But at the end of the day, I think I've got more justifications than the people, maybe. And no, I mean, I don't want to say that, because there's someone at home, like, if you have the money and you love this game enough, whatever, you know, you buy what you want to buy. I think we can all accept it's stupidly expensive, though. But then again, so the legendary packs. Now the legendary packs seem oddly cheap in comparison. It's only £40. I could get a legendary, woohoo! Or I could spend £80 and get a Mosasaurus. Like, what makes a Mosasaurus worth double the price. Is it the exclusivity? Because at the end of the day, it's forced exclusivity, and that shouldn't really have value. Ah, well. What I mean by forced exclusivity, so there's a difference, like, the Mosasaurus is available for a short time, very rarely, whatever. Whereas if you think about, say, original shiny Charizard Pokemon card, which goes for like 150 quid now, it's quite an expensive card. I've actually got one in my bedroom right now. It's quite an expensive card. But they weren't forced exclusive. I mean, they were rare at the time, but they didn't halt production randomly. They kept them coming, and then over time, they've just become more and more rare as copies get damaged or whatever. I'd say that I'm trying to back up Nintendo here, but then they've got amiibos, which are like the definition of forced exclusivity. Anyway, bloody hell. This is like the last 15 seconds, so I'm going to go. Thank you for joining me. Buddy, hiccups, hiccups! Sorry that I've really just ignored the game and rambled on about my own life, but it's quite hard to commentate on something that's happening in the past, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Oh, there's like another 40 seconds left. But we got Mosasaurus and stuff like that, and I will try to talk to you guys a little bit more in the comments today, because why the hell not? So thank you very much for joining me as always. I shall see you lovely folks in the next episode. Cheers, much love, as always. Bye-bye.